So it's day one on the solo Trans-Tasman yacht race. We just crossed the start line. I'm about mid-fleet. A few boats up around there, a couple over there, and then quite a few behind me. Okay, so it's 7 AM on our second day at sea. So for much of the night I could see a couple of boats, but in the morning now I can't see anyone. We've sort of spread out quite a bit. It was actually a really tough first night because the conditions were so variable. So you would have sort of 10 knots of wind, and then out of nowhere a cloud would come giving you 20 to 25 knots of wind, and it'd have changed the angle as well. So the boat, the auto helm wasn't handling it very well, so there's lots of time on deck. Very little opportunity to get any cat naps in, so now I'm really tired. Hi, so it's 4:30 in the afternoon on our second day at sea, and things are heating up. We've got quite a jumble of boats all stuck in this light winds together. So all day today I've had sort of 5 to 8 knots of wind. Occasionally it builds to 10 knots and then it drops back off again. So I've been racing the Healer. I'm not sure if you'll see him over there, but his sails are just on the horizon. That's Mark Hipgrave's boat, so I've been racing him all day, trying to catch him. He was 7 miles ahead of me this morning. He's now only 3 miles ahead, so very slowly we're coming together. Hi, so it's 10 AM on our third morning at sea, and I just got the position reports in. Looks like I'm about mid-fleet, which is awesome. I'm not doing as bad as I thought I was. So yesterday through the light winds, the auto helm wasn't handling it very well, so I hand steered for about 8 hours, and by the time last night hit and the winds filled in for the auto helm to be able to take over, I was just shattered. I find I'm actually really exhausted and feeling nauseous and getting shaky just because I'm so tired. So I've been trying to sleep all night now that the winds are up and the auto helm can kind of take over. But because of that, I lost a bit of ground to the Healer. I was chasing him down all day yesterday and got within 3.5 miles of him. And then now he's about 7 miles away again. So it's 5 AM on the morning of the 27th. I've had about, 40 minutes sleep tonight. And then all day yesterday I was up and about and doing stuff. So I'm actually starting to get very tired. I had thought that because I'd be kind of sailing close hauled, I'd get a chance to get some sleep tonight just before this storm hits tomorrow, or today. Unfortunately that hasn't happened, so I will just have to persevere and eat lots of chocolate. This is with 3 reefs in and a half jib, so there's about 30 knots out there at the moment. You can see it here. Got a nice gash right here. So the slider was attached here and it was pulling away, and there was so much pressure on it, it was actually splitting the mainsail. So I dropped the mainsail and put the second reef back in so that this wasn't taking any pressure anymore. And now it's daylight, I'm starting to do my repairs. So you can see I've got my webbing marks lined out, and I've pre-drilled my holes, and now I've got some webbing I'm going to sew on as a reinforcement to there, and then I'm going to move the slider down and put another one just above it. So hopefully that'll be strong enough and it should get me home. Alright, so I just finished the sail repair. We'll see how it holds up, hopefully. Here we've got the webbing that I put on, so there's the gash that's just under here. So hopefully that'll stop it pulling open anymore, and save the sail there. It's 2 o'clock on the afternoon of the 29th, and I've got the code 0 up. It's been up all afternoon. The winds keep dropping out as expected, but unfortunately we do have a bit of swell around, so all that does is make everything flap and go absolutely nowhere. And it's probably the most gut-wrenching sound to a sailor, is having to sit here and listen to your sails flog for hours on end, and there's absolutely nothing really that you can do about it. Hi, so it's the morning of the 30th. I have been at sea for, well, this is my 8th day at sea now. I haven't had any sleep last night. I got maybe an hour's sleep after hand steering for sort of 10 hours yesterday and then doing numerous sail changes last night. I'm very tired at the moment. But we have finally found a very light breeze of 6 knots coming from the northeast, and I'm actually making my way northwest, which is amazing. I'm on course almost. So it's about 11 o'clock now. I still haven't had breakfast, and all around me are storms. All I keep doing is just reef in, reef out, reef in, reef out. I've got all these squalls around me. Finally, the winds have finally filled in. Whether they'll stay around, I don't know. But at the moment I've got about 15 knots of wind, and it's changed direction, so it's coming from the south-southwest. So it means I can turn the boat around and run. So we're just running right at the moment at about 120 degrees off the wind. Flattened the boat off. It's made things a lot more comfortable. I don't know if you can see this, but I've just come up on deck to check everything, and there's a bloody water spout starting, like a little tornado at sea. You see the top of the cloud pointing down there, and then it's meeting the water that's getting thrown up at the bottom. Just incredible. Just been through this storm. It goes all the way across. Pretty nasty clouds. And then that water spout's right there on the other side. I'm pretty fed up with these conditions. About an hour ago it was calm, so I shook all the sails out, got all the sails out, and now I'm battling in this crap. Go under it, and I'll probably have 30 knots, and I'm just over it. I'd be quite happy if I was having steady breeze, or if I was, you know, I don't know, if it was the same all the time it would be fine, but it's the constant 10 knots to 30 knots that's driving me insane. I can't get any sleep, can't do anything. I've got to be on deck the whole time to try and catch those shifts, and so that the boat's not overpowered, or so I don't do any damage to the sails, and I'm just shattered and just ready to get there now. I'm imagining my hot bath. I really want it. So it's still the second. It's not even evening yet. It's just 2:30 now. I got up at 6 and I've been on deck since 6. And I'm just shattered. Absolutely ruined, and I now can't get the jib to furl to go and pack away. I just had another look at the grip files, and there's worse weather coming than what I'm getting right now, and I'm worried that the jib won't hold through the weather, so I've been trying to furl it away, half furl it so it's only half the jib exposed, so it's less pressure on it. That way it should survive the trip, but the furler won't furl, so I managed to get it quarter of the way furled, and in 40 knots of wind that's going to be way too much sail up, but in the 25 knots that I've got right now it's a bit hard to try and drop it on the deck, because it'll probably just go in the water and just go everywhere with the wind. So it's all a bit of an impossible scenario at the moment. The lightning's just about to hit me. Can't say I'm not scared. I'm in an aluminium boat in the middle of the ocean, and I'm the tallest thing around, so I hope like hell it doesn't strike me, because I don't know what will happen. Yeah, it's a pretty nasty looking system coming through. Hopefully it should only last about an hour according to the radar, because of the cloud cover I can see. Fingers crossed that is what it lasts. It's the morning of the 3rd at sea. We been sort of in 20-25 knots of wind all night, gusting up to 30s. Now we're in 35 knots of wind. That is crap. It's just rough out here. It's just really, really rough. Alright, so sunset on day 13 at sea. Just off to my beam here, right below the sunset, is Point Cartwright. That's our finishing lines just down there. Unfortunately, the wind has decided to come around and come from exactly where I need to go, which is always pleasant. So I'm gonna have to tack my way up there, which is a real bummer, but I'll get there,